Yep, we're closing up the game store, and there's a couple reasons why. Stay tuned to find out. We've ran this game store since April, I believe, is earlier when we opened up for a soft open. We love the store, we really did, but there's actually a couple reasons why we're gonna be closing this down. The first reason we're closing it down is honestly, sales haven't been as good as we had hoped for or anticipated for, and that also has some tie-in to certain reasons that I'll also be describing here in a little bit. In total, sales so far, I think we've only scratched the surface of about 4K, I think is what we've kind of scratched on. It's on the rougher side, but we had shows that were also planned out the rest of the year as well. So unfortunately, we had to close up the store to go do shows instead, which we made more money at shows anyways. Of course, getting the obvious of the financials out of the way, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why we did close down. Let's take a look at a couple more. Another reason we're gonna be closing down is the heat out there. The extreme weather we have here in Texas is a little too much on myself. One fan can kind of blow enough air to keep it going, but it's not enough to cool it down at all. When it gets to about 90 degrees in there, you can kind of feel it, and it is very uncomfortable, not only for myself, but also for the guests who are coming by. Nobody wants to walk in 100-degree weather. I wouldn't, would you? The argument could be said that I could buy more fans. I have bought 2 fans, and even with 2 fans, it still was really hot inside that room. I could have bought a big air cooler, water cooler, I think is what they called, swamp cooler, might be the nickname for them. Unfortunately though, those can cost around $1,000 or more, something I didn't want to have as an expense in case we did close down the store. We did have plans to expand anyways, so by even buying a swamp cooler, would I even use it after closing up the store? Probably not, because we would go into a store that has an AC unit installed anyways. Save the cost and essentially move on with our lives. The next reason, and it ties into this last reason we did for the extreme temperatures, is I don't know if a product's gonna break even after testing it for X amount of weeks. If I have a product in there, let's say we have a copy of Kuon in the inventory right now, it was kind of just sitting in there in the extreme weather, and after a week of not even being at the store, because we're only open on the weekends anyways, if you didn't know that, sorry. The extreme temperature could have the game working today, but I could test it in like a week, and it probably wouldn't work, and that's a pretty big chunk of change to be kind of just leaving in the heat at any time. I almost fell over. The last and final reason, actually a reason I don't think you guys actually understand, unless you're in this kind of world, immigration is actually something that did affect us. I'm not trying to get political. Let's not get political at all. Let's keep it civil. But the immigration laws that just got passed, the severity of which these guys are, immigration's doing what immigration will do. Fortunately, it's kind of drawn back our crowd by roughly 60%. I remember when we opened in April, we were actually doing pretty well. After the laws got passed and ICE started doing what ICE does, and unfortunately, it drove our demand down severely. So another reason we had to close down as well. Now, does this mean the end of Cultured Gamer? Absolutely not. Are you crazy? We're gonna be listing a lot more on Instagram, so follow us on Instagram, YouTube as well. We're posting more stuff on there. I do want to focus a little bit more on Shelf Locked. And just heads up, we are looking for a place to rent out now as well. The only problem with that so far is rent went up, and therefore if rent goes up, our business model has to change a little bit just to adjust to what it could be. And when I mean a little bit, it could change as severe as me paying a little bit lower for stuff or a lot lower for certain stuff. I've kind of built a pretty strong standpoint on how I pay for things, but unfortunately it is what it is, and it may have to change anyways. I think that's the reality of a business that a lot of people don't understand, is that change is inevitable, and it's good and bad in both cases, depending on what kind of situation you're in. I do really appreciate everybody coming out to the store and supporting us any way you guys can. It really means a lot to us. It really does. Trust me. I kind of go to sleep at night tearful and just joyful. Without you guys, we would be nothing. So we really do appreciate everything you guys have done for us so far. The last thing I wanted to kind of mention as well, guys, I really appreciate you guys messaging me as well. It means a lot from the bottom of my heart. I know I had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me if everything was okay, if we were doing fine and things like that. And yeah, we're doing great. Trust me. I've had time to process this. We've been in about the closing stage for about 2 months. When we had that July month of where we were just at shows for 4 weekends out of that month, it allowed me to kind of reflect on what we were doing. Shows, we were pulling so much more income in just because the demand was much higher at a show than it is at an open air flea market. I'm not gonna tell you guys not to support Traders Village. If you guys can ever make it out there, it's a wonderful flea market to go shop around. We may do some episodes of Shelf Locked out there as well here in the near future. Just to go explore and kind of have an episode of Shelf Locked. I've had one planned. There's another game store there, 2 more game stores there, 3 more game stores there. There's 3 more, and I've always wanted to go out there and kind of take a look and see what I can find out there. Keep an eye out for a Shelf Locked episode out in Traders Village. And that is it. I do appreciate you guys checking out this video. Thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have given us. Stay tuned. We are going to be posting possibly an update as to a shop that we have coming open as well. I won't say anything until I have an actual key in my hand. Here's the key. Ding. Until I get a key in my hand, I won't be announcing anywhere, addresses, anything like that yet. I do have plans for how I want the model to look. We are currently still looking at buildings. I'm waiting on 2 responses right now from 2 people. And then I've already put in a couple submissions for 4 other spots. No, I didn't submit them yet. I'm still in talks. So maybe I'll bring you guys along the journey. There's a lot to it. A lot of it I didn't actually understand as a business owner myself. To open a retail store, I didn't know a lot of these things. So we'll run through it and kind of give you guys an eye-opener as to what we have to deal with in and out of this kind of business situation. That should be a fun video as well. Hey everybody, I realized I did not do an outro, so thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.